What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's get into it. I know I'm late, but I'm gonna start off with Stormy first. I'm gonna get everything from Stormy out of the way, and then hit to Martell, and then end it with Maurice, because that's where majority of the episode reflected around. So Stormy is back at her estate, still trying to convince her aunt that she should talk to her sister, tell her how you feel, and she said, "I'm not gonna talk to her. I can't talk to her." Because since I'm calling you out for not holding your mother accountable, that she shouldn't say these things, you keep saying you cannot control her mouth. You can keep her from saying things. She said, I can. Auntie Lisa says she can stop Betty from talking about her child if she don't come around. She can't talk about me if I'm not there. And she can't talk about my child if I'm not there. And that means if I'm not around, I will not be around you. I will not be around Chess. I won't be a part of your life. That's just going to have to be for what it is. Because I will be tired of this. This is ridiculous. You have yet to tell your mother that she was wrong for airing out Junior's jail time, airing out that Stormy paid for it, all because of what? Stormy wasn't on top of her business. You want to blame that on Junior and your sister? Okay. And realizing that Stormy shouldn't have made a big deal to have this big conversation that Junior got fired. Everybody gets fired, not that big of a deal. Because she was so worried about their relationship not being in a good place after he got fired. But they're cool. It just opened up unresolved issues between her mother and her aunt. And now she's wondering how we're going to get them back together. I need to figure that out because I want you guys to have a good relationship. While I'm still living on this earth and I hope to live a long life, I want you guys to have a good relationship. Stormy, I hear you. I really, really do. But you don't want that responsibility on you. Don't take on that burden. Okay. It's not your job to fix everybody's issues. And I feel like you're putting a lot of issues on your aunt and your mother over issues you're not even open up about for yourself, like you have with Melody. And if two people don't want to open up and have a conversation and take accountability of everything, then we're just gonna keep our distance. Because the main one who has yet to take accountability is your mother. Your mother is the cause of all of this, and you don't know how to tell your mother to stop. Tell her that she's wrong. She shouldn't say that. I hear you. You can't control what somebody says, but you can put up boundaries with you hurt me by saying this. And in order for you to still be a part of my life, I need for you to check that. I really do. You keep telling your mama, go hug her. Can you hug your sister for me? Can you hug her for me? Do you honestly think that your mama is in the mood to hug her sister? Aunt Lisa is not in the mood to be hugged by Betty. She wants to whoop Betty's ass is what she wants to do. That's why she keeps walking away from her. And you have yet, I said it before, you have yet to tell your mother to take accountability for the things that she said and how she was wrong. Okay, telling her to hug somebody. She said, how the fuck am I gonna hug somebody walking up? I wouldn't hug your ass. Betty is the type of person that wants you to kiss her ass because she thinks she can say everything right, do everything right when God, no. Because she was raised to not be told you were wrong. And you have bullied your daughter to never tell you that you were wrong. Because you can say, Mama, you were wrong. You would take that sign of disrespect because you was wrong. I can't write off that you weren't wrong because you were wrong. You can't, and I can't. Moving on from that. No, 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 no. Continuing on with Stormy's story, she's in the car with Courtney, just going over what they've been doing ever since they fired Junior. And just having to talk about what needs to be done, what changes need to be had, because when Stormy and Courtney were getting her business off the ground, it was just the two of them. They packaged everything, shipped off everything, and everything went faster. So to go from doing your own packaging to have your own warehouse, to have a staff team, it's just kind of like it would have been more easier, right? But then you have staff members not telling you you need to stock up inventory, you need to vamp these labels, you need to find some more tape. They're not telling them that. And you're looking at them reflect on how you do your business. I also, Stormy, need to realize that you cannot depend on your staff to tell you what's wrong, to tell you that you are out of bottles, you're out of the body canvas oil, you're out of the shampoo. They shouldn't tell you if you're not on top of that. And if you're not going to listen when they tell you, then that's on you. When Junior told you you need to hire more people, you said no because you want to keep the loyalty, keep the staff that you've had when you were getting your business off the ground. You didn't want to open that to more people, but you're looking at the relationship you have. You need to not mix friendship with business. Moving forward, hire regular people who have the experience of working in retail. Hiring Junior without having prior knowledge that he does not have experience of being a production manager was your first mistake. But I hear you. You want to keep your family close, give them opportunities. I get all that. But if they're setting you up to fail, that should make you look at them funny. And you cannot expect for them to tell you what's going on in your business when it's your business. You should be on top of inventory. You should be on top of orders. You should be on top of website. You should be on top of all of that. You know what I'm saying? So if hiring friends is going to hinder your business, don't hire friends. Hire regular people so you can develop a business relationship instead of worrying about if the friendship is going to be good if they go into business with you. Don't worry about that. If the friendship weren't real in the beginning, then you shouldn't have put them in your business. You should have did that from the beginning. Never put your friends in your business because it's going to hurt you, okay? Moving on from that, she brings up the feud between her mom and her sister. She wants them back on good terms. And now that her and Junior are cool, she's wondering why her mom and her aunt can't be cool. Because she has this big idea of planning a big family trip to Jamaica where she's paying for everybody. But it's not going to happen. Nobody wants to be around her mother. And in the confessional, talking about the animosity between her mom and her aunt is affecting her. She grew up an only child. She didn't have any siblings. Then Courtney can read the fact that Betty wants Stormy all to herself. That's the issue. Your mama don't want you hanging out with nobody. I thought about her interview with Carlos when she said that her mother didn't like Courtney in the beginning. I'm wondering if that's the problem too. You didn't like that there was nobody else to be there for your daughter besides you. And since a husband came in, you felt that your place got replaced. But nobody could replace you being the mom. Just know that there will be other people in her life that will be important to her. Her husband will be important. Her children will be important. Eventually, Stormy might end up making very good friends if her mother will allow for her to fly, be on her own. Obviously, she's a grown woman with her own business, a husband, a child, a huge ass house. If you can trust that Stormy can make a business and be successful, why can't you let your daughter trust that she can find good friends? Where you don't have to always give off your opinion on how this friend ain't this friend ain't that. She'll never know how to wheel out bullshit. She'll never know how to wheel out people who want to use her if you don't let her. Let her go out there and venture. You cannot hold that spot of being the best friend when you're her mother. Sometimes the two cannot mix. I need to be with other friends my age. I need to have different types of conversations with other people other than my mother. So, Stormy, I'm gonna need for you to fix that. Then we're going to move on to Martell. Martell. Okay, so we got Martell. Martell is at his therapy session. And is this the same therapist that Melody had? Because she looks very familiar. In the beginning, Martell was against therapy. Now that he sees Melody has gone, the kids have gone, he figures why not give it a shot, even though it was court ordered for him. But he's learning that it's a safe space to be in therapy. Therapy is good. It's learning. It's evolving. It's a place where you can express your thoughts and your feelings without feeling judged. In this therapy session, he was feeling a bit frustrated because the babysitter canceled on him the last minute. And when he asked his mom, she said no. And now he's like, what you mean? There were times where he's arguing with his mom about watching his kids. He loves his mom, but I should not have to argue with you about watching my kids, especially since you've asked, you can watch my kids. I've expected for you to help me with my kids. And when I ask you, you say no, but you still expect for me to handle things for you. Meaning, you expect for me to pay your bills. You expect for me to give you an allowance. And in return, I'm also expecting for you to watch my kids if I need you to watch my kids. Martell, let me tell you this. Your mother is not legally obligated to watch your kids. Yes, those are her grandchildren. Yes, she may have offered. But don't always assume, Martell, that she's going to be available to watch your kids. Because at the end of the day, they're what? Your children. And if you want her to watch them, you're going to have to make sure you give her the same respectful time to ask if she's available. Don't assume. And since she expects for you to do things for her without questions asked, come up with that boundary. Then we're talking about how he's made selfish decisions in the past that has affected his relationship because a one-sided relationship is not healthy. It needs to be 50-50. When one gives, another one gives. Another one takes, another one takes. Someone can't just take, and you expect for them to give. That doesn't work. And then we have a talk about his relationship with his father. His father still lives in Huntsville, but he has not seen him or spoken to him in over a year. There was a scene, don't know from what season, where he was fishing and talking about his father being incarcerated, but that's all it was. After his father was released, they did connect. They were building a relationship, but they haven't had a conversation since then. They have not talked about his life prior to him getting arrested. He feels as though his father being a part of his life, it still did not affect the way he grew up. It still did not affect the way he turned out. Because he believes that people say it's a cop out when you say it was because of this, I became this. It was because my father wasn't in my life, I became this. Turns out you never really know what it could happen if you did have your mother and your father in your life there for you, guiding you, helping you. You don't know what could have happened. Sometimes they're there to help, and sometimes if they weren't there to help, you wouldn't have discovered this. So it's two ways you can look at it. Then we discover that he has a brother named Montez who is 5 years younger than him. Assumed he was an only child. Okay, him and his brother had the same mom, Miss Marlene, and how she did the best that she could. He takes full responsibility of the person he's become, and having time to reassess those relationships and change things because he's not the same person he was a few years ago. Now, when it comes to him taking full responsibility, I hear you, Martell. I'm happy, but I also want you to still do that. I don't want you to always say, I'm taking full responsibility, but yet you bring up what someone else did to counteract you taking full responsibility. And with your mom not being a part of your life like that, yes, Miss Marlene was there, but she worked. She was not emotionally available, which lacked telling you that you were wrong, lacked you taking accountability. Continuing on with Martell. He had his little brother Montez come over. He's been recently paroled and he recently got married. So he wants to see where his head is at and what does he want to look forward to now that he's back out in the real world and what not to do to get back to jail. He said he's always been a role model to his brother. He always wanted to make sure his brother turned out good, but his brother didn't listen, stay in the streets. But now he's starting his life over, got a good job working for FedEx versus than the other job he's had on the streets. And their father wasn't around. Their mother worked all the time. They practically raised themselves, which we found out. And Martell found an outlet that did not have him stay in the streets. Remember, he said he did ROTC. He started playing sports. And he was there to have someone push him. His brother did not have nobody to push him, which made him stay in the streets. And Martell said he was bad. You know, he got kicked out. And the recruiter came in, told him how he needed to fix himself and do better. And his main focus at that point was getting married and finding someone like Melody. He was happy that he found Melody. He was able to have somebody to have his back, be there for him to be a better person, take care of the household, but he ruined it. So you wanted somebody to take care of you and to support you, uplift you, but you could not do the same in return. You appreciated what Mel did for you, but in the end, you did not show that appreciation the way you should have. Now, apparently, since his brother has been not in the real world for a while, all he has heard from Mel is the diss song about him because he said, where is Mel? I've not seen her in so long. So when he brought up the Telltale Sign song, the diss song, it flashes back to her being in the studio. And it's not a diss song. It's a song of him cheating on her. That's real. But aside from all of that, he said always satisfy your partner, always make sure you're putting time in one another. And him just giving all the advice on what to do to keep a relationship. But I'm like, Montez, do not believe anything your brother says. Martell is not a good judge of character to give any type of relationship advice because of what he has done in his past and current relationships. He has not fully healed nor fully have learned and acknowledged the wrongdoings he's done in his relationship. So I wouldn't listen to him. I wouldn't listen to him at all. Okay. Believe him when he says keep your good job. You know what I'm saying? But then he's bringing up the business expo that Teacher and Marceau are about to do. And does he want to have his own business? Does he want to be an entrepreneur? I can help you. You know, you can learn, you can see what's going on and change your circumstances from what your past was. I mean, you really think you got pulled like that, Martell, to help your brother in a better position than where you are right now? Because what do you have? You have your wine. Is it selling? You just collaborate with somebody for a suit line. Is it selling? Do you have any successful business right now where it's making money other than Love and Marriage Huntsville? Let me know, because I don't think your brother should take relationship advice from you, nor should he take business advice from you, because you don't have any business right now. But I'll move on from there. So we are getting into the meat and potatoes of this entire review. We're going to start off with Kimmy. Kimmy and Maurice have date night. They were painting glasses. And when it came down to how to clean the glasses, how to make sure they're good, the teacher said it's best to hand wash them instead of dishwashing them. Maurice wanted to make a joke about that being Kimmy's apartment. She looked at him, was like, "What's my department? The cooking and the cleaning." Excuse me? What? No, how about Junior needs to see you wash a couple of dish. He said, "Why are you bringing Junior into this?" "Because Junior don't do nothing. And it would not harm you to wash a dish or two to show your son washing dishes doesn't mean you're any less of a man. Washing dishes shows you know how to take care of yourself. And you know how to clean when stuff needs to be cleaned." Like, I swear to God, Maurice got on my fucking nerves the rest of this episode. I swear. Because whenever there is something about Monster, Maurice instantly wants to defend it, but he doesn't act on it. He just says it. Kimmy should be the strict parent, and Maurice should be the fun parent, because he wants her to do all the heavy lifting. But she shouldn't be doing the heavy lifting. She shouldn't be doing any lifting at all. Because did we forget that Kimmy has been recovering from breast cancer? Did we forget that? She has radiation. Did we forget that? That's the part. She should not be stressing herself out on how to raise your son, on doing stuff that he should be doing, that you should be implementing. I'ma calm down. I swear, I'ma calm down. I'ma calm down. So Tisha and Marcel arrived. It was a double date, and it's been high tension with the renovations of their new townhome or whatever. So date night is a chance to relax. Tisha wanted to say or open up the conversation about, which I've been talking about, Maurice says Kimmy doesn't think that she should punish Monster. She looks at him and said, "That's not true." Like, Kimmy expresses her concerns every time to Maurice in clear preciseness. His paraphrasing is so awful. She has no problem with disciplining him. Her problem is you not taking action to make sure your son does what she's disciplining. You don't follow suit. You don't enforce authority. So the rules are pretty simple. If Maurice Jr. follows the rules of what he needs to do to make sure his chores are done, and if he doesn't do it, the punishment is go outside and rake the leaves. Since he did not clean up his room, the punishment was to go outside and rake the leaves. He apparently told Kimmy he ain't doing it, and apparently Maurice didn't say nothing about it when he knew. He knew the punishment. Both Maurice and Maurice Jr. do the punishment. If you don't do your chores, you go outside and rake the leaves. So he just kind of like, I don't understand the problem. If you're trying to have Junior do something, just tell him. Just tell him to do it. I don't need to come back and say something. Why do I need to tell him to do it if she's telling him to do it? I swear to God. Maurice, what does raising kids mean? If she's constantly in the space of having to repeat herself more than once and it's still not clicking, then I'm going to need another voice, another sense of authority to come in and make sure he does it. You know, Kimmy is only working with what she can. She has her limitations of being the bonus parent. She's not his mother. She's his stepmother. You are his biological father. You have way more of an authority to make sure he does what he needs to do than she does. When they hear how he doesn't back her up, trying to reprimand Junior, it's just like, oh my God. Whew. She says raising other people's kids can be a sensitive thing. I can't enforce what I would do on my kid on somebody else's kid. Then he wanted to gaslight her, make her feel bad by saying, you don't think that Junior is your son. She said, I wish you would stop saying that. Don't act like, she said, please don't act like you don't get it. I swear to God, Maurice has this deer caught in the headlights face every time of the same issues. It's been the same issues ever since they've been on this show. How he's managing, disciplining Junior when it's Kimmy doing the managing. How many more ways is she going to spell it out for you? You do not back her up when it comes to you disciplining your son. You do not. You do not enforce. You do not regulate. You just sit there and just say whatever you want to say and just assume she's going to just do it. She said, I have no problem with punishing Junior. I don't have a problem. Like, I swear to God. That he wants to keep on saying that she wants to tiptoe around Kyla's feelings. She wants to tiptoe around your feelings too. Because I can only implement what I can. I can't do more. And I thought that Kimmy said she was done raising kids after she raised Jalen. Maurice is still not taking accountability because he said he's been fostering the relationship between Kyla and Kimmy. Tisha with the background. You're his second mom. You should be able to communicate properly about Junior. What does she need to communicate with Kyla about? They already have that understanding. It's getting through Maurice's thick ass head. It's the problem. He just don't fucking listen. Tisha. It's nothing going. Okay. Maurice thinks he's doing his job by getting them together without taking accountability. You're not the one implementing rules. You're the father. Then he wants to say that his ex-wife should be in the position to move forward. No, is in the position to move forward, and that Kimmy isn't. Again with the gaslighting. Again with the controlling. Again with the manipulative. You really trying to make Kimmy feel bad that she's not stepping in of being a mother to your son versus than you being the father to your own son? How are you going to flip this about how this is her fault? This is your fault. Yours. Why do you always have to make it seem as if Kimmy doesn't want to do anything because of Kyla? Kimmy's life does not revolve around Kyla. It's dealing with you. Like, we just had a phone conversation where you called Kyla to escape the part that you did not want to admit of disciplining Junior. She told you straight to your face. I don't have an issue with Kyla. My issue is with you. You do not back me up when it comes to enforcing rules on your son. You do not back me up when I am telling your son if he does not do his chores, he has to go outside and rake the leaves. He has to do a punishment if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. I swear to God, he does not support her at all. At all. Even Marceau, he said, you got to back her up at some point. Back her up at some point. You can't do this. And then Marceau threw shade at Maurice about wanting to have Kimmy out. No, not Kimmy. Having Kyla come out here, have a conversation about Junior. He said, make sure you stay for the meeting and not leave her hanging out to dry like you did last time. Thank you, Marceau. Thank you. I appreciate you calling your brother out. That's exactly what he did. It was Maurice's idea to have Kyla and her husband to come out to talk about Junior. And what did he do? Leave her out to dry. Then he wants to come with an excuse about how I had a meeting. Maurice, I have not seen you use your law degree since you've been on this show, since you have graduated from law school. I have not seen you sit down with anybody using your law degree. I have not seen you sit down with anybody how to fix their credit, except for Martell. What do you do? Why do you wear suits all the time? You have nothing going on. I swear to God. Oh, Jesus. The problem that I see is Maurice. Maurice is the problem. As much as I get frustrated, as much as Kimmy gets frustrated, she really want to cuss him out. Kimmy be holding her tongue because she wants to cuss his ass all the way the fuck out. She do. She really, really do. And she holds back because it's like, I am not crazy with what I am saying. I am not crazy with how I am feeling because I am trying to reach a solution and it's not working. And we're continuing on. So, Kyla is supposed to come over. We're trying to figure out what's going on with him. Okay? So, when Kyla came, I did not like the fact that Maurice did not get up and say hello to Kyla. He sat there like he's the king. And how the women are supposed to come to him, bow down to him, and he don't have no manners to walk up and say hello to his ex-wife, say hello to Kyla. She ain't a stranger. You got Kimmy repeating herself, saying, hey, how are you, more than once, as if she didn't say it the first time. She showed more respect than you did. Oof. I cannot. I really cannot. Okay, so We discussed the stupid ass boot camp. You know how, what's the purpose of the boot camp? You would get up early, and he does his chores, and that's it. What else? He gets up early and does his chores. What else are you implementing? What are you teaching him? So there's nothing that Maurice is doing is implementing his son to be a teenager, a growing teenager, to have responsibilities. It's not a hard list, excuse me, to come up with. And, Maurice Jr., he has a simple list of chores. Keep his room clean. Make sure he does his homework. Have his laundry done every week. And Maurice Jr. isn't open to talk about his feelings. He looks introverted, like he's not expressive. He doesn't want to look at Maurice. He doesn't even want to look down. Look at the camera. I feel as though Maurice Jr. is very uncomfortable being on camera and is very uncomfortable with expressing his feelings because I don't think he's been made safe. It's been made safe for him to express what he's going through, express how he's been feeling. So hearing about the boot camp, which did nothing at all, what do you think? I think it needs to be adjusted, but how does Junior feel? Maurice think he's doing something by calling out Junior's lack of energy of receiving it because he said, so how are you? Because I can see your face. You don't look receptive. There isn't a good look to receiving information. It really isn't, because I can look at you and be completely like, shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Or I can look at you and take it, but if it doesn't show, it doesn't mean I'm not receiving it. And there is no face of receiving information. Don't tell me what you want me to look like to receive information if I don't feel that. And I'm kind of like, Maurice, don't sit here and act like you give a fuck about your son not receiving what you want him to do when you don't teach him what he needs to do. He is really holding back. I think that Maurice Jr. is depressed. I think he has anxiety. I don't think he's comfortable with where he's living right now. And he's not expressing anything. Everybody is just talking. His mom asked, how are the grades? He said they're getting better. So what are you trying to do to achieve better grades? What are you changing? Are you changing your study habits? Are you changing your method of not watching too much TV? What are you doing differently? He can't explain it. So since he can't explain it, he's good and uncomfortable. Kyle offers him to take him out to dinner so that way he can have more of a safer space. Because I don't want him to look like we're coming at him. And that's how you talk to your children. You give them the space of, you know what, we'll talk about it later. Go ahead, go upstairs. I'm going to take you out to dinner. Leave it where it's at, then come in a better way. Sometimes coming at them, you're done. You're not going to get any results. So Maurice is expecting some action after being told that it's not working. And Kyle was coming from a more nurturing place. Maurice likes to hear himself talk about saying things because I don't think talking at you is going to help. But it would help if I were to understand what you have going on. And then he wanted to check him that you wasted too much time talking to us. Go upstairs and do your homework. Do you have homework? Go ahead and do it. Like, don't act like you're now being forceful by telling him to do his homework when you haven't shown that before. I don't like this. He thought he was doing something by enforcing being a father at this moment in front of Kyle and Kimmy as if he was doing something, but he wasn't. Thought he was putting his foot down. You didn't do anything. I don't think he heard his son. I don't think he paid attention. I just think that Maurice wanted to hear himself talk. In the confessional, Kimmy says, I don't think we're on the same page. And then he's talking about how he's running out of time. And he needs to get a handle on it before it gets too late. Well, how do you expect for him to get a handle on things if you don't teach him? And Kyle says, I wanted to shift the gears a little bit. I didn't want to feel like we're ganging up on him because Kimmy even also said, I want to hear from you. Because I don't want me to give ideas and you just agreeing with it without having your own opinions, your own decisions about it. Maurice is all about himself. He thought he was on an island by himself without Kimmy being there when there have been plenty of times Kimmy has been on the island by herself without your support. And Maurice likes to go around the world more than one way to say something without getting to the point. So the fact that since he wasn't agreeing or he did not felt as though Kimmy and Kyle were on the same page as him, he felt as though, a softer approach. Yes, a softer approach. How does he feel? What is he thinking about? What's going on with him? Since you don't know how to ask your son about what he's dealing with, you just assume that he's going to just do it. So like Kyle said, maybe there are some feelings that he's dealing with and don't know how to express it right now. He had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, to say that Kyle babied him. Probably because she's the main one who raised him. That's why. Baby and coddling and nurturing, those can be multiple different things with that. You're telling him that he needs to grow up, and if he can't handle on being a grown-up, then he's going to run out of time. That will only happen if you teach him. Teach him. You're putting so much pressure on him to get a handle on things without giving him the tools. You're not being hands-on. You can't just expect for your child to grow up in this world and know what to do without teaching them. Now, Kyle did say that she did do everything for him. You know, she cooked his meals, folded his clothes, did his laundry, did everything without him having to lift a finger, all the way down to he became a teenager, which at some point, I'm happy she admitted because that was messed up. You don't give your child the same attention and easy living when they reach teenagers. At that point, the cutoff time for me is either 8 or 9 of when they need to start doing their own thing or, being more independent. And there is a middle. Maurice rolling his eyes the fact that Kyle was that she coddled him. But it's like, what are you doing that's any different? You're being a fucking drill sergeant, yelling at him, talking at him about how he needs to do this and do that. But you're not being a parent. You're not finding a middle of being enforceful, but also have a nurturing scent, a nurturing tone. And Kimmy was enforcing that when he came out to live with them and how he didn't know how to do his own laundry. She said, I'll teach you. So he did expect from what his mom did for him to have it at this house. But Maurice is not going to do it. Kimmy definitely sure ain't going to do it. So with the way that Kimmy was explaining to him that people don't grow up in this world being a responsible adult. You have to teach him. You have to teach him how to do laundry, teach him how to separate his clothes, teach him how to come up with a way to clean up his room, teach him how to do this. You have to teach him how to wash the dish, clean out the dishwasher, cleaning his own bathroom if he has one. You have to teach him. Okay? And then you want to make sure you're giving all the tools you can while your kids are growing up, so that way they'll never come up and say, nobody ever told me. That's like how you can't wake up one day and be an adult and know how to navigate this world of that we call life, adulthood. Learn how to pay a bill. Learn how to make a payment for car insurance. Learn how to clean. Learn how to do this. You don't want to wake up without learning how to do that. So when it came down to quality time, Maurice said, I do spend quality time with him. I do. So what do you do as quality time? I pick him up and I take him to school. Pickups and drop-offs are not quality time, Maurice. Come up with something else. What else? We have long conversations. Sitting in traffic is not a long conversation. Do you take him out somewhere? Do you shoot basketball with him? Do you go bowling? Do you spend any quality time with him? Versus then you just picking him up and dropping him off and waking him up at 5 a.m. Those are not good examples. And then he caught himself with saying how he helped out his homework. If you're helping him out with his homework, then why don't he have better grades? Because you're not helping him. You probably is telling him, what's this mean? And then you're not even trying to help him get to the problem. You just have the time to talk. Because same point in time, you don't talk. You monologue. You give a whole speech. You don't get to the point. He thinks that I don't have to constantly help my son navigate his homework. And I don't have to always be there for him when he does this. I don't have to literally be by his side because he's going to eventually go up and make me want to do it. This is some bullshit he was talking about. So I don't think that Maurice has the right to use the term being a parent. You haven't earned that title by saying you should not do everything for a boy when he's about to turn 16. I don't think that you should do everything for your child, period, when they reach a certain age. You should start implementing on how they should dress themselves, feed themselves, bathe themselves when they start talking. When they start talking, that's when you started to have them be more independent, putting on their shoes, put on their clothes, write their names, all the way until they reach teenage years. So that way, it wouldn't be a surprise nor a shock that you don't know how to put your clothes on, you don't know how to wash a dish, you don't know how to put your shoes on, you don't know how to do any of that. There should be no shock to you. Because I get it. When you do everything for your child, all the way till they reach adulthood, it will be a shock to them that they have to figure it out on their own. That's why you break that. You break that before they reach that age. That can only happen if you have navigated your son of being independent when he reaches a certain age. Don't wait until he's 16. Go before that. So apparently this has not been a good transition for Junior. Okay. Maurice is not connecting with his son. He has failed to connect with his son. He depended on Kimmy for doing all of that, doing all the heavy lifting. He's just there to say, yes, I did that. And quality time is not quality time. So Kyle came up with the idea maybe she will come around more. Since Kyle knows her son, he likes hugs, like affection. You can have tough conversations with your children, but you can also be soft, be nice, be warming. And Maurice is none of those things. So Kimmy is seeing it, saying it loud and clear. The way you identify as quality time is not reciprocated. You picking up, driving him to school does not equate to that. And Maurice, please look in the mirror and take accountability. You are failing as a parent. Your son has lack of respect for you and has lack of respect for everybody. We're going to continue on because she's going to take him out to dinner. And she wants to know, how do you feel about the way that Junior acted? And maybe moving away from his mom was a lot for him. And the fact that he probably can't come and talk to you because you take too long to get to the fucking point. And maybe family therapy could be something that you guys should do. Now, Maurice wants to always include Kimmy, but she said you guys can go. Kyle takes out Junior, wanted to know what's going on. Did your dad spend time with you? He said no. Did you talk to your dad about what's going on with you? He said not really, because he usually talks to himself. He doesn't have anybody else to express what's going on with him, and he usually just talk it over with himself, which is not good. It's not healthy. He should have somebody to talk to. He can't talk to his uncle more so. He can't talk to his cousin MJ. They're around the same age. They don't have a good relationship. I guess he don't trust the relationship. So when Kyle said, what if I was to come around more? How would you feel? He lit up so fast because he enjoys being around his mom. He misses his mom. Know what, y'all? Y'all might as well send Junior back home with his mom. That's his safe space. That's his home. He knows what to do when he's back at home with his mom. Back here with his dad, he just walk on eggshells because he doesn't know how to fit what his father is doing. Because Maurice is not making any way for his son to be a part of his life, and that makes Junior feel like a stranger. Just let it be a summer routine. Just let Junior stay with Kyle throughout the year for school and send him back to Maurice for the summer. Because I think that's what Maurice expected. Maurice expected for Kyle to do all of the heavy lifting, all of the raising by the time he reaches a certain age. And when Maurice wanted to take him, it would have been smooth sailing. There's no other learning. There's no other teaching. He got it all. And Maurice wanted to make it look like I raised my son to be the man that he is. So, Kimmy is okay with going to therapy, but maybe at another time, because you and Kyle need to talk to Junior. And I think 3 of y'all with a therapist is enough. Having me there will be overwhelming. But he wants to call her out by saying, so you don't think you're a parent. I hate the way he tries to gaslight her. I hate the way he tries to make it seem as if Kimmy does not want to be involved in Junior's life, as if she wasn't aware that you came in a situation with a child. I hate the way he does that. It really annoys me. And Maurice is such a fucking gaslighter, okay? Like, he don't put an effort at all. He wants Kim to show up, and he just doesn't want to do anything. He wants to place all of his responsibilities on how to be a parent to his wife when it comes to his son. And then he expects for them to just come together, have a kumbaya, almost all of them to be involved, including bonus parents. She said, I get you. I really get you. But I don't think it's good for me to be there when it's you. You are the parent. You and Kyle are the biological parents. There's only so much I can implement of helping him. Excuse me. And how you want her to be a part of everything. She has been part of everything. She was a part of the last bonus parent meeting that you left out. So you can miss me with that. This is about your son, and you decide to leave your wife there to have all the information. So to take the heat off of him, what he's not doing, he now want to place Kimmy as having issues to work out with Kyle. Since Kyle is going to be around more, maybe that should be a step for y'all to work out y'all issues. What issues? There's no issues. We don't talk about the past. Again, typical gaslighter. Since you don't want to sit here to end off the scene that you're not being the father, you're not being the parent you were supposed to be, you now want to say Kimmy has issues with Kyle. Kimmy is not playing with him. She wanted to cuss him out so bad. You gonna throw it out there that she's not over the past because she felt as though it's no need for her to have a conversation with Kyle? So need to. Like, get out of my face. Want to say that the reason that they can't get along, she can't discipline your son is because of this. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. And that was the end of the episode. And Kimmy is going to exactly what she should not be doing. Going to meet up with Kyle to discuss where did Kimmy fit in their relationship. We're going to have the conversation about why did Kyle feel like Kimmy came in on their marriage. Why was Kimmy called a side chick? Why? We're going to get to that conversation. Maurice, you are a fucking gaslighter. You are a dictator. You're an asshole. I'm sorry, not sorry. Because that's some BS. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.